Today we're going to learn how we can use our dye-based ink pads as watercolors. We're also going to review some watercolor techniques. For this project you will need some watercolor paper, you'll need a paper towel, you'll need some water brushes or regular brushes and water, an image to stamp. You will also need some solvent-based ink for your image. I use the StazOn because it doesn't bleed. And you will need a transparency that you can use as your palette for your paints or your inks, and you're going to need some watercolor paper. First thing we're going to do is stamp our image on the watercolor paper. I'm using 90-pound paper, but what you should use is 90-pound or higher. Watercolor paper has two sides. It has a smooth side and it has a rough side. And you can see I've already stamped my image, and I've inked my image up once and then stamped it 3 times. I'm going to save this image for my card, and I'm going to play around with these 2 images. What you will do to get started with this is you're going to take your transparency, and you can see right here that I've already added some ink, and just place your ink pad onto the transparency and give it a good rub. There you go. And that way you have your ink on there and it's all ready to paint. We're going to take our first image right here and we're going to use our water brush. I'm using a smaller water brush and I want to fill in this color. You can watercolor in 2 different ways. You can use a dry paper, which I'm doing, or you can go ahead and use a wet paper. It's up to you. I like using it dry. So you're going to move this color around pretty quickly, starting darker in the middle, moving around because you don't want hard edges, just like this. So just move it around. I'm using that lightest pink that I picked up right there, and I'm going to quickly go through here and move the color around a little bit more. And that's all you need to do. When you're watercoloring, what you do want to do is allow the paint to dry before you add another color. So we don't have time for it to dry. I'm going to go ahead and use the prepared one I had that I did earlier. I'm going to wipe off the color of my brush until it's clean, squeeze it just a little to get the water going. And now I'm going to go over and add a little bit darker color to give it a little bit more depth and shadow. All you do is you pick up the darker color, this is the second pink color I have, and start to outline your image. If you don't want hard edges, what you want to do is just pull that through a little bit. You notice how that blends? You go back, pick up a little bit of your darker color, and just pull it right through there and blend it in. It's pretty easy. And you're going to go along the petals right here. We'll show you the outline. Again, I've prepared another one for you to see. So this is our first step, and then this is our second step. And I've gone through and I've put that second pink color in. This is my lightest, this is my second one, this is my third darkest, and this is the darkest color. Now what we want to do is go back through here and add some darker lines to what we've already done. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and quickly add a little bit more color. You want to make sure that you're using a light hand and you just blend that in and try to lightly, just lightly touch your color. Go back in and take the color up a little bit if you need to, but you can't always do that, so you want to be careful. So here's our third color that we've added. Now what we want to do, I'm going to wipe this off yet again, and I'm going to add our last darkest color. And our darkest color we're going to put on really light, and you can see that right here. After I add that darkest color, the other thing I want to do is go into the middle here, add my yellow, and I can pull that through if I want to the rest of the card, the rest of the image, add a little bit of that darker orange, and then what I'm going to do, and this is what you get. This one I've done on the rough side, this one is done on the smooth side. And for your final product, I like to cut out the image, and this is the card that I created using this watercolor technique. I hope you've enjoyed today's video.